Hey y'all, it's your girl ShesLoc'd and I'm back with another video. So in this video, I wanted to talk about when I got my locks interlocked back in May 2020. So I wanted to kind of like talk about like, did I like it? Did I not like it? Did it damage my locks at all? Would I do it again? Stuff like that. So I got my locks interlocked back in May 2020, and I went to a loctician to get them interlocked. The reason I got my locks interlocked was because I had so much loose hairs, and at first I had watched a few YouTube videos to see like what I could do to put the loose hairs back into my lock, because especially around my perimeter, my hair is the softest, so it grows outside of the lock, or if I like moisturize my locks, it gets like, I have a curly texture hair, so it strays away from the locks, like if I'm moisturizing it and stuff like that. The crown of my head, it's more coarse, so like those hairs, they don't stray away from the lock. I don't have no problem with those hairs. It's the hairs in the perimeter from like front to back, they don't stay in the lock. So I was watching YouTube videos to figure out like, how could I put the hairs back into the lock? Because as we know, or as we don't know, whenever you have loose hairs coming out of that lock, it makes your lock weak at the root, because now your lock doesn't have that foundation, being that the foundation is like straying away from the lock. So like you could see some people, their lock is like hanging from like a few pieces of hairs, and then you see like they have like a little afro on the, like the foundation of the lock. So that's one of the reasons why your locks could thin out if your hairs, your new growth is growing outside the lock, because your new growth is supposed to be your foundation. So if it's not there, then there is no foundation, and then it starts thinning. So I watched a couple videos on YouTube to figure like, how do I put the hairs back in the lock? And there was a few YouTubers who were like, the way that you put the hair back in the lock, you get a crochet hook and you crochet it back into the lock. So I did that, and after washing my hair, like I felt like the hairs were still continuously coming outside of the lock. So I was just like, okay, let me see if there's another way to do it, because like I said, like my hair texture in the perimeter is softer, so I just felt like it wasn't staying in the lock. So then there was another video. Then I started watching videos on like people getting their locks interlocked. And interlocks, if you don't know, is basically like, I don't want to say tying a knot, but it's like tying a knot at your root. So you like get your lock and then you put it through your new growth. And there's a 2-point system, a 3-point system, and a 4-point system. The 2-point system is looser for your locks, for your new growth. 3-point system is a little tighter, and the 4-point system is the tightest. So when I got my locks interlocked, I was nervous because there's pros and cons to whatever you do to your locks. So I was watching pros and cons videos, and they were saying like it could like change the size of your locks, and I didn't want that, because I honestly love the size of my locks. They're not skinny, and they're not too, they're just I like the size. So like when I had got them interlocked, I was nervous, but I was like, I have to like, it was more like a trial and error. Like I want to see how my hair reacts to me getting it interlocked. And when I got them interlocked, I'm pretty sure my loctician used either the 3-point or the 4-point. And I really should have told her to do the 2-point, because I didn't want like them to be too tight, because that's where you start noticing change in size if they're too tight. And if they're too tight at the new growth, and then like it grows out, you see that part in your lock where you got them interlocked and they were tight. I feel like interlocks are very good for like smaller locks, sister locks, brother locks, micro locks, smaller traditional locks. But when it comes to like medium size and thicker locks, you have to be real careful with doing interlocks, because it might change the size. It might, depending on like how they do it and the health of your hair and stuff like that. It just might. So I got them interlocked, and then I was like, okay, like I loved it. Like I had loved it. All my new growth was where it's supposed to be. I felt like my foundation was back strong. All the hairs, the straight hairs, they were in the lock. That they were good. But then as time went on, like months went on, I started noticing like a change in my locks, like where I got them interlocked. And I'm gonna try to see my loose hairs are back out. So this is what I mean. Like it's kind of hard to see, like, but I have loose hairs everywhere on the perimeter of my locks. But I'm gonna try to find like a thick lock and show you guys. Let me see. Okay, so this one's a perfect example. So this is my new growth from the time that I got the interlock. This is the new growth. And then like I only got it interlock one time. Do you see like this part right here? That part is where I got the interlock. So you could clearly see like there's a change in my lock right there. So it goes from thick, and then there's like, I don't know if you guys could see that. It's like small, like it's very condensed, and then it goes back thick. So that's what I was worried about. And I see it now, like now that my locks are, this side of my locks are colored, I could see that like throughout my head. I'm hoping that was a good example, because I don't really see too many of them now that I'm on camera, of course. But like that's what I was afraid of. So I still do have loose hairs, but am I going to interlock my hair? I don't know. If I were to go back and get my locks interlocked, it would literally be once a year. Like I got it back in May, so if I was to get it again, I would get it again in May. If I see, but then I'd probably wait to see like if there's serious thinning going on, if like being that my new growth grows outside the lock. So I would probably not even do it this year. I'd probably skip this year, and then May 2022 see if like I have any thinning, if my locks are in danger, stuff like that, because I don't really, I don't like how, I don't like it. Like my locks for the most part are consistent in size down the shaft. So like seeing that, it's a little worrisome. Like I don't like it. So I'm not trying to scare anyone to tell you like don't get your locks interlocked, but I'm just gonna say like be careful. There are methods of interlocks. So like if you want your locks to be tight throughout the whole lock, the 4-point rotation would be perfect for you. If you don't want that, you want the looser, then the 2-point rotation be great for you. If you want like in the middle, then the 3-point rotation might be good for you. But for the most part, I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm just gonna continue watching my locks to see like if they're still getting affected by the interlock that I did last year. And if they're not, I'll probably interlock like every other year, because I don't feel like they're in danger at the roots. Like they still grow outside of my lock, but they're not in danger for now. So to keep my lock size and not to have like what I just showed you guys at the root, this, you see that? Like it looked like a gap right there, and that's where I had got it interlocked. So, but she did her thing. Like she did a great job when she interlocked my locks. So it's not about like that she didn't do a good job. It's just it changes your lock size. So if you don't want your lock size to change, or you're not too sure about interlocks, I would say to not do interlocks right now and do more research on it. I felt like I did enough research, and I knew I was going in knowing that it could possibly change my lock. So like I said, it was a trial and error. So we're just gonna see how it goes. I don't think I'll be getting my locks interlocked no time soon. Retwisting them every 3 months doesn't really do them any harm. I do wrap the hairs around when I see loose hairs and stuff like that. I feel like that helps a little bit. So hopefully this video helps somebody out. Of course, I'm here to help. If you have any questions or concerns, please leave them in the comment box below. If you have any video ideas that you guys want to see from me, leave them in the comment box below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.